Hi, this is Nick Forster. We're going to share one of our favorite eTown shows from the archives, and it starts right now.
From eTown Hall in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, it's eTown, with this week's musical guests from the San Francisco Bay Area, A.J. Lee and Blue Summit, and Grammy Award winner and member of the Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame, Peter Rowan. I'm Helen Forster. Join me now in welcoming our host, Nick Forster.
Thank you, Ellen. Thanks, everybody. Welcome to eTown Hall. Big stuff happening at eTown this week. Many of you know that for a long, long time, I was deep in the bluegrass world, traveling and touring with Hot Rise starting in the 70s. Some of us remember the 70s. And what was cool about that moment in time in the bluegrass world is that it was transitional. It was the founders and the pioneers of bluegrass music were still working and touring and playing festivals. There weren't that many bands, and we were among the newbies. And so it was an incredible opportunity for me as a young kid in my early 20s to get out and meet and play music with a bunch of my heroes and some real legends in bluegrass music. So that was pretty cool. And bluegrass has something that is especially cool, which is that since the mid-'60s, there have been bluegrass festivals. And the thing that happens at a bluegrass festival is that people go and they camp and they stay in some beautiful place in nature and they hang out, and a lot of times they bring their families and they not only listen to music, but they play music. So you go to the campground, tons of bluegrass fans are also players and singers, and those kids grow up to be players and singers. So what we have for you guys this week, if somebody representing that kind of legend category, and we have somebody who was one of those kids who went to the festival and grew up to be a great player and a singer. So A.J. Lee is going to be up here in a little while, and she's been playing, recording, singing since she was very, very young. She's got a great band. And up first, Peter Rowan, born and raised in Massachusetts, moved to Nashville and started working with Bill Monroe as a member of his Bluegrass Boys in 1964. And recorded with Bill and toured with Bill, and then pretty soon after that, he started keeping the spirit of and the inspiration of music alive. He was in Sea Train, he was in Earth Opera. He, of course, as many of you know, co-founded Old and in the Way, and he was in Mule Skinner, and he kept on making music and writing songs and recording, and he does that still to this day at the age of 81. He is touring and recording and singing and playing, and it's great to have him here. We've known each other a long time, so would you please help me welcome back to eTown, now living in the Bay Area in California, Peter Rowan.
Thank you. You know, some years ago when I was with the band Sea Train, we recorded this song, and George Martin was our producer, and he did such a good job on this tune. And when I came out to California, and I had written a song called Land of the Navajo, driving across the country, and I finally found some people that really sort of understood what I was trying to say musically, and that was Jerry Garcia, David Grisman, Vassar Clemens, and John Kahn. And Jerry was making a solo record at the time, and it came out, it was called Garcia. And he heard this song of mine, and he recorded it. He didn't know that it was really about a dog that had run away. But he overdubbed wolves in the background.
Wow.
Howling in the distance. And
He understood you.
he understood.
Yeah.
And we'd like to do our rendition of that now. It's called The Mississippi Moon. You tell me you're lonely. I know how how you feel, standing up at the bars, rocking back on my heels. She's a wild bird that wandered too easy to stray. I know she had to lose me to find her own way. Oh, Corey, I'll be coming soon through the Louisiana pines, through the Mississippi moon, through the Louisiana pines, through the Mississippi moon. Oh yeah. A wave on the ocean, a whirlwind on the sand. I took a notion that the ship cannot land. So light me a candle in the forest so deep, and it lay down beside me. Angels rock us to sleep. Oh, Corey, I'll be coming soon through the Louisiana pines to the Mississippi moon, through the Louisiana pines to the Mississippi moon. Ooh, yeah. Thank you. Well, it's wonderful to be back here on eTown with Nick and Helen and all the gang. Well, I made a promise to myself. Someday I'd return to these shores, the silver coastline white with waves, the heather green on the moor. For I have left a life behind. I lived as a gambling man, searching for that wild high card to play a winning hand. I wandered into a smuggler's saloon, shadows dancing on the wall. At a table green we played our cards. Yeah, we drank from glasses tall. Next to me a woman wept, her eyes watching fortune and fame. As I played my last high card, but I could not leave the game. She said, if you'll permit me, sir, I'll stake you to another round. And what you've lost in this game, sir, in another may be found. The dealer smiled a crooked smile and said, show one honest man. It ain't the cards you're holding, my friend, it's how you play your hand. Now the game has ended at last, in the cold gray light of dawn. The hands of time untied the blinds. In the morning we are one, and the love we made is lingering like footprints on the sand. And as I breathe the cool morning air, I hold a winning hand.
Pete Rowan, welcome back to eTown. So good to
Thank
see
you.
you, good to have you here, good to hear you play and sing.
Thank you.
There is nobody like you. There is nobody like old Pete Rowan. Now, Bill Monroe used to address you in the plural, as I recall.
Pete Rowan's.
Pete Rowan's.
Yeah.
You're in good voice. You sound good. I do want to talk a little bit about your musical journey. I'm just imagining that you, as a guy who grew up in Massachusetts and must have been fascinated by music, whatever you were hearing, you were soaking it in, lapping it up. But somehow you had the drive, with Bill Keith's help, to get to Nashville and to get the gig, singing with father of bluegrass music, sharing a mic, shoulder to shoulder, sharing a mic, driving on the Bluegrass Breakdown and doing all that stuff.
Del McCurry said that Del was a little shy and used to back off the mic, and Bill would say, "Crowd me now, crowd me."
What are 3 things you learned from your time working with Bill Monroe?
Well, when I was with him, I was 22 to about 25, going on 26, and he was in his 50s. He'd been on the Grand Ole Opry for 25 years. And he used to say, in these long night drives after shows, going off to some other place through the Kentucky night, and in some car that might not break down. And I just remember him saying, just out of sort of nowhere, "Don't ever give up, Pete. Don't ever give up."
Wow.
I think after a while we start to see how much drive it takes, or took Bill, to never give up and never lose sight of his vision.
That was not a great time in his career either. The early 60s.
Elvis and electric honky-tonk country had taken over the airwaves, and Bill was a hit songwriter. Blue Moon of Kentucky was a hit, as was Kentucky Waltz. And he had been up on the charts, and he had done well. We used to rehearse, and he would sit aside and go through his mail while we rehearsed for him. And he would just had a little penknife, and he'd open each one, and a lot of them would just go right in the wastebasket, and then he'd look at one and he'd put it in his hat. And I figured that the ones that went in the hat were the royalty statements that were,
Thank you, Elvis.
Thank you, and I did learn from that.
Yeah.
When I heard a reporter ask Bill, "Mr. Monroe, do you think Elvis has desecrated bluegrass music by doing your song Blue Moon of Kentucky?" And Bill said, "No, sir, them were powerful checks." I learned that from him.
Yeah. I mean, Bill was a driven, creative force and tapped into something really cosmic. He had, into my ear anyway, he had that deep connection with the music. Mm-hmm. He also had some bad habits. He was not a drinker.
That is a really bad habit for me.
I guess I set that one up for you, didn't I?
That lob
Yeah.
landed right square in the court.
Right, landed right square in the sweet spot there. That's funny. Well, listen, I think we all benefited. Again, you can hear the records that Bill Monroe and Pete Rowan recorded. Why don't we just talk about David Grisman for a minute? Like, you met when you were really young, and what did you see in him that you recognized that you could share?
David had his own personal, lifestyle that took him to the West, and he played with Jerry Garcia and the Grateful Dead. And when I left Bill Monroe, he had come back to Boston, and we moved in together. David was a great companion, a great listener and communicator of the joy of music.
Yeah.
And one of the last people that had recorded us as just a bluegrass or string band players was Paul Rothschild. And at that time, when we signed with Elektra, Paul Rothschild was producing a band called The Doors. And then, so we got to open for The Doors. Now we're talking.
What did you learn from Jim Morrison?
That's top secret.
Wow. Okay. Well, the saga continues. We're not going to touch on everything, but I love sharing these stories with our listeners, our audience. Quickly, what did you take in from the way Jerry Garcia listens to music?
Well, Jerry was listening to everything from Rastafarian horns to Jamaican horns playing gospel tunes, and we'd go up and listen to it at his house. And when I sang Land of the Navajo and I was singing the ending, and I kind of looked over at him like, that's probably enough, right? And he goes, "Yeah, man, more." So that's what I learned
That's
from
what
Jerry.
you learned from Jerry. Yeah. Do that some more.
Do it more.
Yeah.
And
That's
there's just so many stories about that era.
Well, I think the other thing I just want to mention before we're going to play here in a minute, but I think about all these iconic players whose voices are so distinctive, and you've been able to weave them into your sound and onto your records. People like Vassar Clements, Flaco Jimenez, just amazing players. Of course, all our posse of the Jerry Douglas, Stuart Duncan, Tim O'Brien, all those people. But you've cast a wide net, and you've expanded the palette that people think about this kind of music, which is a big deal. So I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
I appreciate that,
Yeah,
Nick. Yeah.
We are going to chat a little more later in the show, but right now we're going to get back to music. You are listening to eTown. Please welcome back Mr. Peter Rowan.
Don't ever give up.
Don't ever give up. And more. Do that some more.
More. There's an eagle and he keeps on flying, over mountains capped with white snow. In green valleys, lonesome people trying so hard to tell each other what they think they know. With greedy hands we take each other's money just to buy back each other's pain. It's so useless and somehow funny to be thirsty in the rain. Thirsty in the rain. Like that eagle, now my soul is flying over mountain through the crimson morning sky. And there don't seem to be no use in struggling so hard. There don't seem to be no reason why I must fight you for the rich man's money. I can't buy back his helpless pain. He seems so useless, somehow funny to be thirsty in the rain. Thirsty in the rain. Fare thee well, my own true lover. My face you never will see here no more. But there is one promise that is given. I'll meet you on that shining golden shore. Golden shore, love, where the eagle soared so high above the fruitful plain. I'm the same friend that you knew when we wandered thirsty in the rain. Thirsty in the rain.
That's Pete Rowan. Along with the eTones, that's Christian Thiel and Adam Bodine and Eric Tureen on the bass. Helen Forster singing harmony. His latest record is Calling You from My Mountain. Pete's going to be back to sing a lot more later on in the show.
Your visit to eTown is made possible in part by the Scientific and Cultural Facilities District, or SCFD, one of the largest cultural funding mechanisms in the United States, supporting nearly 300 organizations in the greater Denver area. By the way, did you know that there are over 2,000 videos on the eTown YouTube channel? You can go to that and watch them all and stay up to date with our latest video offerings by just subscribing. You're listening to eTown.
I'm Nick Forster. You're listening to eTown. We got much more music coming up from Pete Rowan in a little while, but right now I'm going to tell you about what's coming up immediately. AJ Lee grew up in a musical family out in the country in Northern California with horses and chickens and the whole thing. She is the youngest of 5 kids. She got a lot of encouragement to sing from her mom, who's also a singer, and apparently she was lifted up to the microphone to sing starting when she was about 4. Which I'm sure was really cute, but apparently was also good. So that was where it all started. Many of you have heard of Molly Tuttle, great guitar player, songwriter, and singer, who's been on eTown before. Molly's dad, Jack Tuttle, was a busy and beloved music teacher. He helped zillions of kids in the Bay Area get better, hone their skills, particularly on all the bluegrass instruments, obviously including his own kids. He had a family band called the Tuttles. That included Molly and her 2 brothers, Sullivan and Michael. And then they added a singer who was not his kid. So a family band, but then here comes this other girl, and it was because she's such a great singer. The Tuttles became the Tuttles with AJ Lee. They put out their first record together when she was 12. She's now 25. She plays the mandolin. She's been voted Best Female Vocalist by the Northern California Bluegrass Society 7 times. Her latest record is called I'll Come Back. She's got a killer band. Please welcome to eTown for their first visit, AJ Lee and Blue Summit.
Well, it's a pleasure for us to be here. We're excited to play some tunes. We're going to start with a song that I finished writing recently. This is called Hillside. It's been many years since I was made, where the wind blows and fades away. I am a hillside with a westward face. Someday a mountain will take my place. With soil of skin and rock of bone, I was made to be alone. No other sun where I have lived, like the sunshine on this ridge. Autumn sun shines half as long from dusk till dawn, but you're still gone. 1,000 years don't mean nothing to the stone cold hell that you call me. but I will never bend that way. Autumn sun shines half as long from dusk till dawn, but you're still gone. 1,000 years don't mean a thing to the stone called heaven that you call me. Thank you. Well, over here playing one of the guitars, we've got Sully Tuttle. And he's gonna sing you one now.
This is one, more of a jazzy swing kind of song I learned from Bob Wills. It's called Who Walks In When I Walk Out. Who walks in when I walk out? Who gives you that high, baby? Who's that? Got me jealous of you. Who walks in when I walk out? Don't you know you're mine, baby? Who's that? Got me worrying too. Now when we kiss, I kinda miss something that used to be. And every day that I'm away, I get the feeling that you're fooling me. Now who walks in when I walk out? Who gives you that high, baby? Who's that? Got me jealous of you. Is it that high, baby? Who said got me jealous of you? Who walks in when I walk out? Don't you know you're mine, baby? Who's that? Got me worrying too. Now when we kiss, I kinda miss something that used to be. And every day that I'm away, I get the feeling that you're fooling me now. Who walks in when I walk out? Who gives you that high, baby? Who's that? Got me jealous of you. Who's that? Got me jealous of you.
AJ Lee, welcome to eTown. So good to hear you and your band. The kids can pick. You guys have been doing this for a while. It's awesome.
Yep, been doing it for many, many years.
It's interesting because your band is so versatile and so talented. You could go in almost any kind of direction. I guess it means that whatever you come up with is going to work for your band.
Well, in theory.
Yeah.
It's not always the case. You know, I'll write something maybe a little bit out of the box and I'll bring it up and we'll all be like, nah, we can't do that. And then I'll recycle it maybe like 2 or 3 years later, be like, let's try this again and we'll give it another shot, and somehow we like twist it and turn it into a way where somehow it always ends up working out.
Yeah. What are some of the things that make it not feel like it can work in your band?
Well, I'll give an example. We're doing a song that I wrote called Sick on a Plane now.
Oh, there you go.
That I wrote several years ago.
Yeah.
This goofy, silly experience.
Yeah. It's a youthful song.
Yeah, it's very youthful, very kind of almost metal-y kind of sound. So, yeah, that's one of those I really had to do some convincing.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, if you go sort of all the way to thrash metal, you might actually might not go with it.
Yeah, you can try to do every genre, but it doesn't always mean you should.
I know you weren't sick on a plane recently, but I will just mention that you had a hellacious trip out here to Colorado because your flight from Boston was canceled. Mm-hmm. You had to, rent a car?
Yeah, well, so our flight was supposed to be, I think, at 6:30 p.m. And, we got to the airport around, 4. And then 11 o'clock comes around, and they're like, it's canceled. There was no other flights out of Boston or anywhere except for one in Philly. So we're like, how are we going to get there? We rented 2 vehicles, and we drove 5.5 hours to Philly to catch an 8 a.m. flight and got to Denver at 10:50 and then played a show at 5.
Well, the touring is made for the young. That's a good thing. I don't know if you remember this, but I saw you play probably 10 or 12 years ago, so probably when you were about 12, I guess, playing with the Tuttles at a festival in Oakland. And I was just really impressed with the whole scene. And you knew those kids. And so to be invited to join a family band must have been kind of a surprise and an honor.
Oh, it was definitely an honor. I grew up with most of them. Sully and I, we became friends, I think, around 7 or 8. He's about 2 years older than me. So we grew up playing music. So my concept
and he's
of
in your band now.
Yeah. And the concept of who's who and who's cool and who's not didn't really faze me at 7 years old, but
Right.
I realized, after playing music with the Tuttles for so long, I was definitely in the presence of some cool people from a really young age. So it's always been a pleasure
That's
playing
awesome.
with them.
And also being in Northern California, I think you're also exposed to other songwriters and people like Kate Wolf and Lori Lewis and other women who are writing songs and playing. And I wonder if that was an inspiration or a connection that you made when you were coming up.
My biggest influence actually has been my mom, and
cool.
especially in my songwriting. And I don't know how much she likes when I say this, but I think she's definitely my worst critic. So every time I've had a song, I'm like, Mom, what do you think of this? I'm just like, oh, I just want her to say she likes it. She's always like, that's really good, but this line here, you could say something else. And to this day, I've always appreciated how much feedback that my mom would give me, and not just support. She always supported me, but she always wanted to help improve, what I wanted to do, so I could be great in anything that I wanted to do, was their view.
The tough love worked.
It sure did.
Yeah. And am I right that your grandfather was like a stride piano player in the sort of Fats Waller tradition?
Yeah. Where'd you find all this information?
Hey, listen, I do a little sleuthing around. There's this thing called the internet that you kids probably
There's
know
a lot
about.
of stuff on the internet, though.
Yeah. I read another thing during my deep dive into your data. No, I just read, you said a funny quote that stuck with me, and I'm not going to get it exactly right, but you basically said something like, I don't want to become another Taylor Swift and just write songs about breakups. And, I would say, some might argue Taylor Swift is kind of crushing it.
Everyone's got their thing. If you're good at writing breakup songs, you're good at that. But I think I kind of know where you're coming from. I think I like being a little bit different, playing the mandolin and, not just being a woman who sings about their, relationships and strums the guitar and whatnot.
Yeah.
But that being said, Taylor Swift is crushing it.
Yeah. Well, also, you came up in Bluegrass, and there's a lot of happy songs about murder and death. So it's like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You can handle that stuff, too.
Yeah, I was birthed into a path already.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm so glad you got a chance to stop by. We're anxious to hear some more music. Thanks for coming to eTown.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Yeah. Welcome back, if you would. A.J. Lee and Blue Summit.
We're going to do one more song here for you. And again, this is just an honor for us to be here. We've always heard a lot of great things about eTown, and we're happy to be part of it. This is called Faithful. Fingers anymore. I don't know why I tried so hard. Now I've been sitting here for many hours tonight. Still I try for you. I always gave my very best, but you wanted to put my faith to the test. Like a broken record playing on my heart. You scared all the best parts. Well, hey, 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 give my best to your family. If you want a love that's true and tried and faithful, you can't talk it, you gotta walk it. Scotty! Feel like I did before. I admit I wanted better over worse. And I'm sorry that I never made you proud. And I'm sorry that I just can't stay around. Every time you come through on its part and remove this wounded hopeful heart. For all the things I've tried to make you see, you still wanted to change me. Well, hey, 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 give my best to your family. If you want a love that's true and tried and faithful, you can't talk it, you gotta walk it. To your family, if you want a love that's true and tried and faithful, you can't talk it, you gotta walk it. Thank you.
A.J. Lee and Blue Summit. Got Jan Karat on the fiddle, Forrest Morowitz on the bass, Sullivan Tuttle on guitar, Scott Gates on guitar and vocals, and A.J. Lee on mandolin. The record's called I'll Come Back. A.J. Lee and Blue Summit.
Your visit to eTown is made possible in part by our diverse family of NPR affiliates and community stations, plus college and commercial stations, as well as our international stations and podcast subscribers worldwide. Thank you for your continued support. You're listening to eTown.
I'm Nick Forster. You are listening to eTown. I want to say hello to some listeners who are hearing eTown on stations like KDRT in Davis, California, on WEOS in Geneva, New York, and on KSRQ in Thief River Falls, Minnesota. As always, if you'd like more information about any of our guests this week, lots of information is online. You can find out how to get tickets to live shows. You can see photos, links to videos. So much is online at eTown.org. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Subscribe if you want to stay up to date. Pete Rowan's is coming back. Come on out, Pete. One of the beauties of getting older, there's a kind of collected wisdom that comes from all the experiences. And you've often, in my experience, not just thinking about the practical side, but thinking about the spiritual side of music and the connection that music can make to other cultures. You've played a lot of music in other countries to people who don't speak English, but you connect. The song gets through.
Well, I once played for the Italian Communist Party in a big festival, and they gave me a flag and an apron with the stars, the whole. I learned from playing those kinds of places. I didn't speak the language at all, the Italian, but I could emote and relate to them on the emotional level somehow, and it just made me a better singer. And it made me feel sort of a universality of music, and then this whole idea of enchantment and incantation, enchantment. Mm-hmm. These are words that have a meaning, and the mystery of the 9 muses, and how in ancient cultures, very dedicated to the musical ideas. Well, I think the ideas maybe came from the invocation of the spiritual world. And so that interested me. And it just led me to work with people from other cultures, especially when I ended up in Texas.
There's another culture for you.
Yeah. Well, it was very different in those days. San Antonio hadn't been gentrified.
Yeah.
And it was all wooden buildings everywhere, botanicas. There was no air conditioning, so people were hanging out outside on their steps of their porches, and there was a lot of communication. And the first band I saw was accordion, trumpet, and snare drum. And I thought, well, yeah, that's bluegrass of another kind, Bill Monroe used to tell me, he said, Pete, don't go too far out on that limb. There are enough flowers out there already. But he did say things that were really, sing it clean, sing it true. No matter what culture I would find myself in, if I follow the basic rule of sing it pure, and
by that you mean like getting into the deepest part of the song.
Yeah, kind of. It's a breath, breathing. Yeah.
Let the song kind of take over inside you.
Yeah.
Pete, I appreciate you sharing that, because I think it's a spiritual practice. Cultures around the world rely on music and rhythm to connect and to bond to each other.
And also, at that time, there was, in the Native American movement, there was an openness to sit in the wickiups and the sweat lodges and even the peyote lodges, which are still going today, the Native American church. And it all involves music. It all involves invoking the spirit. And that's always just been my calling. And you sit there with the hot rocks and the sizzling and you're sweating, and somebody is singing a beautiful song to all of creation. It just affects you. And it made me realize that it's just much more than the very narrow focus of the music world, trapped in the music business. And I have to say, eTown has really opened the doors for so much of the expansion of the music and the spirit. Don't you think?
Speaking of being free and inspired and overcome with the moment, Pete's got a song.
All right, man. We're going to pick. Yeah. Well, I've been living up on my mountain so high. And I've been living up on my mountain so high. I'm calling you from my mountain to your mountain to my mountain so high. From my mountain to your mountain to my mountain so high. Calling you. It's cold and lonely up on my mountain so high. It's cold and lonely up on my mountain so high. I'm calling you from my mountain to your mountain to my mountain so high. From my mountain to your mountain to my mountain so high. I'm calling you. From my mountain to your mountain to my mountain so high. From my mountain to your mountain to my mountain so high. From my mountain to your mountain to my mountain so high. From my mountain to your mountain to my mountain so high. I'm calling you.
That's Pete
Thank
Rowan.
you so much.
along with eTones, Christian and Adam.
Thank you,
Eric,
thank you.
Helen. We're going to do one more song for you right now. We got together right before the show started, and we found a nice song that's actually an old Tom Paxton tune that meets us all right in the middle. I want to thank all our guests for being on the show. Of course, thanks to AJ Lee and Blue Summit. Thanks to the eTones and Helen Forster. Thanks to Peter Rowan. Thanks to all of our volunteers and our crew, engineers, all the folks who work hard to make these shows happen. I'm Nick Forster. Hope you can be with us next week right here in eTown.
There's a lesson too late for the learning, made of sand, made of sand. In the wink of an eye, my soul is turning. In your hand, in your hand. Are you going away with no words of farewell? May there be not a trace left behind. I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. I know that was the last thing on my mind.
Nick Forster. When I woke up early this morning, you smiled at me, you smiled at me. The song in my heart was surely born, and you set me free, you set me free. Are you going away with no words of farewell? May there be not a trace left behind. I could have loved you better, but didn't mean to be unkind. You know that was the last thing on my mind.
This is a production of eTown.